The Battle of Balete Pass, fought from May 23 to June 15, 1945, was a pivotal engagement in the Philippine campaign of World War II. It marked a significant moment in the struggle for control over the Philippines, as the Allied forces sought to liberate the archipelago from Japanese occupation. Located in the rugged terrain of the northern Luzon province, Balete Pass was a strategic choke point that played a crucial role in the broader context of the Pacific theater. As the Allied forces pressed forward in their campaign to reclaim the Philippines, the Battle of Balete Pass emerged as a critical confrontation between the Japanese Imperial Army and the combined American and Philippine forces. The pass, a narrow corridor flanked by steep hills and dense forests, was of immense strategic importance. Its control was essential for the Allies to secure their supply lines and facilitate the advance into northern Luzon. The Japanese forces, well aware of the pass's significance, had fortified their positions with a network of bunkers, trenches, and artillery emplacements. The natural topography of the pass, with its steep gradients and thick vegetation, provided the Japanese defenders with excellent defensive cover. The rugged terrain made it difficult for any advancing force to mount a sustained assault without incurring heavy casualties. The battle was preceded by a series of preparatory maneuvers by the American and Philippine forces. General Douglas MacArthur, the supreme commander of the Allied forces in the Southwest Pacific area, had prioritized the retaking of Luzon as a key objective in his strategy to dismantle Japanese strongholds in the region. The 33rd Infantry Division, led by Brigadier General William H. Arnold, was tasked with spearheading the assault on Balete Pass. The American and Philippine forces faced a daunting challenge. The Japanese defenders, commanded by Major General Hara, had established a formidable defense, with their positions deeply entrenched in the mountainous terrain. The Japanese troops, composed of well-trained and battle-hardened soldiers, were prepared to defend the pass to the last man. Their resolve was bolstered by their knowledge of the pass's strategic value and their commitment to holding their ground at all costs. The initial phase of the battle was characterized by intense and protracted fighting. The American and Philippine forces launched a series of frontal assaults on the Japanese positions, only to be met with fierce resistance. The Japanese defenders utilized their defensive positions effectively, repelling multiple attacks and inflicting heavy casualties on the advancing troops. The fighting was marked by close-quarters engagements, with both sides engaging in hand-to-hand combat and utilizing the rugged terrain to their advantage. One of the most challenging aspects of the battle was the logistical difficulty of maintaining supply lines. The steep and treacherous terrain made it difficult for the Allied forces to transport ammunition, food, and medical supplies to the front lines. The Allies had to rely on airdrops and narrow, precarious supply routes to keep their troops supplied and equipped. The turning point in the Battle of Balete Pass came with a coordinated assault by the Allied forces. Recognizing the need for a more effective strategy, General Arnold devised a plan to outflank the Japanese positions. This involved a combination of diversionary attacks and a concentrated push through less defended sectors. The Allies used their superior firepower and artillery support to soften up the Japanese defenses before launching a decisive attack on the main positions. The battle reached its climax as the Allied forces launched a final all-out assault on the Japanese positions. The combined weight of American and Philippine firepower, coupled with their relentless determination, began to wear down the Japanese defenders. The rugged terrain, once an advantage for the Japanese, became increasingly difficult for them to defend as the Allies advanced. After weeks of grueling combat, the Japanese defenders were forced to withdraw from their positions. The capture of Balete Pass was a significant victory for the Allied forces and marked a turning point in the campaign for northern Luzon. The success at Balete Pass paved the way for the Allied forces to continue their advance and ultimately contributed to the liberation of the Philippines from Japanese occupation. The Battle of Balete Pass was not only a testament to the bravery and resilience of the Allied forces, but also a reflection of the broader strategic context of the Pacific theater. The battle underscored the importance of securing key strategic locations and the challenges of fighting in difficult terrain. It also highlighted the strategic coordination required to overcome well-entrenched enemy positions and achieve victory. In the aftermath of the battle, The Allied forces faced the task of consolidating their gains and preparing for the next phase of the campaign. The victory at Balete Pass was celebrated as a significant achievement, but it also served as a reminder of the high cost of war. The battle left a lasting legacy in the history of the Philippine campaign and contributed to the broader narrative of Allied success in the Pacific theater. The Battle of Balete Pass remains a significant chapter in the history of World War II, representing the intense and often brutal nature of the conflict in the Pacific. It stands as a tribute to the courage and determination of the soldiers who fought and sacrificed in one of the war's critical battles. The legacy of Balete Pass continues to be remembered and honored as a symbol of the Allied forces' perseverance and strategic prowess in their quest to defeat the forces of the Axis and secure victory in the Pacific.